Hello everyone and welcome. The hot weather is coming, and if you're anything like me, you may be wary of grabbing that steaming cup of coffee first thing in the morning to start your day. You want something cold, refreshing, and did I hear iced? Well, for all of you out there with your Nespresso machines, you may be in luck. Two new items have entered the merchandise store for summer, and those would be the stackable ice cube trays, very handy of course, and the travel mug, meant for ice. I've got those here today, and I've decided to do some taste testing of the new iced coffee pods that they've released at the same time. You've got two different types. The first is the Delicato, which is lighter, softer, fruitier, and the second is the Intenso. It's heavier, darker, and more bold. First off, as far as the ice cube trays and the travel mug go, they're very nice. They're not a landmark of design or innovation, but they certainly function in the way they're supposed to, and I think that's all that I can ask. The plastic feels solid on the travel mug, the straw reaches right to the bottom, the place where you actually put your mouth is very soft with no real hard edges, and the locking mechanism for the lid is fairly easy to use and ensures it stays shut so you can hold the top all you want. The ice cubes are a great fit because they're just big enough that they can only stack one on top of another, but small enough that you can still fit a decent amount of liquid into the mug. The silicone mold is nice, of course, because it means you can push them out from the bottom. They stack well in the freezer, and it's great if you're tight on space. So for making the drinks, there are probably two main ways that we can go about it. We can make an iced Americano, or we can make an iced latte. I'm going to use the lighter and fruitier coffee for the Americano and the heavier and darker coffee for the latte. This is a fairly common choice that tends to appeal to most people, as something lighter and acidic usually doesn't pair that well with milk. Flavors that go better with milk are notes like caramel or nuttiness, maybe some different spices. And on the flip side, a heavier, darker roast might not pair very well with an Americano style. It's more likely to have an overpowering bitterness, as the water does little to lend some natural sweetness, unlike milk. So first up, the Americano. So this smells really great. We've got lots of sweetness, lots of butterscotch, caramelly, some light fruitier notes in there. Kind of curious to try it on its own. Oh, there's way more fruit in there on the taste than the nose. Well, I'm excited to see what it tastes like in the ice. And I forgot to mention that this comes in the Virtuo style and the Classic. I've got the Classic here, so I'm pouring it into this. But with the Virtuo, depending on your machine, you'd be able to stick this underneath and just turn it on. Might as well test it with the straw. Cheers. I will say that for this amount of water and ice, it is fairly watery. You may want to pull a longer shot or use less water. But it is very refreshing, and it's not bitter at all. It's not overpowering. It's just a very, very clean, crisp coffee taste still there. Very true to its claims that it makes online. It's a medium light roast. They use Kenyan Arabica coffee, South American Arabica, and an Indonesian coffee from Java. Well, that's a good way to start the day. Let's move on to the milk. All right, so we've got our milk here and the Intenso pulled. It's definitely a lot darker, a lot heavier. You can tell that very, very easily. It smells a little bit sweet, but still very woody, kind of a bit smoky, but I get some nice kind of graham cracker, kind of reminds me of s'mores kind of smell. It has a really nice buttery thick texture, and it's actually quite balanced. It's not really acidic at all, it's not fruity, but it's also not really bitter either. It's just kind of a nice medium dark coffee. So we'll add it to here. I think I might have less of a problem with the weakness because this is a bit stronger, but this is quite a lot in this mug, which might appeal to some people. It's totally fine, but we'll try it this way and we'll see how it goes. So let's see how it tastes. That is really quite nice. The intensity of the coffee definitely helps cut through the milk, and it's a pretty prominent taste. So you definitely feel like you're actually still drinking coffee, which is really nice. It's really not that different from visiting a Starbucks and getting an iced coffee, but it's cheaper at home. And you could pull 2 shots if you want it to be stronger, but the milk really lends itself nicely to this drink. It has a natural sweetness, and if you use lactose-free milk, it's going to be even sweeter. I don't even think you need to add anything. Yeah, I definitely like this one at this size better. I think that the Intenso kind of has that darkness it cuts through, but I think the lighter roast doesn't really do well with larger sizes. So again, probably use less water or less milk with the Delicato, the lighter one. And they use 2 Arabica beans for this capsule. They have a South American Arabica and one from Indonesia, and they roast it fairly dark, sort of medium dark. So I'd also give their recipe a try next time, which they actually describe 1 coffee capsule, a 40 ml espresso, with 90 grams of ice cubes, topped with 90 milliliters of cold milk, much less than I have here. All right, so these were pretty good, but don't think that you're limited just to these coffees. You can obviously try any of your favorite Nespresso pods as an iced version this summer. I'd actually be very interested in trying the La Completa Refinada as an iced version. This is my favorite coffee of the year so far, and I've done another video on that, which I'll link up here if you want to watch it. I think its sort of candied fruitiness would actually go well with just a little bit of milk. But now it's your turn. Go out there, throw your favorite Nespresso pod in ice, and let me know what you think. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you again in the next video.